How many toys do we buy? How many clothes do we buy for children?
Good products which have more life left in them, are hygienic.
How do you ensure that they are usable?
Our consumer is a child, our customer is a parent, and we do collection drives periodically across apartments in Bangalore. It falls under circular economy and sustainability. It's not just economy in terms of money, it is economy of space and usability. So a small but good percentage of parents are making these choices mindfully. Hand-me-downs was a part of our growing up years. It was a lifestyle choice. There is a very thin line between donate and discard.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Tantrums to Triumphs here at Kids Adda in Bangalore. Today we are talking to someone who's doing something extremely remarkable. How many toys do we buy? How many clothes do we buy for children? And how many products do keep coming out into the market that we get attracted to and we keep buying? What do we do with all those once they outgrow it? What do we do with all the toys, the clothes, the books that we buy for children? We need to figure out a way to ensure that it is used properly. So today we are going to talk to the founder of Weedle, and she is going to tell us all about how Weedle can help us in recycling or reusing the products that we keep buying for our children. Welcome Snehal, welcome to Tantrums to Triumphs.
Thank you, Deepti, for having me over. I've been looking forward to this, so really excited to speak about Weedle and the journey.
Fantastic. So let's start with a little bit about Weedle and what was the inspiration behind Weedle?
So to start at the beginning, I will start with when I had my second one. My second son was born, and we were looking to set up the nursery not from brand new items. And I feel really old when I say this, but back then even WhatsApp was just coming up. So the way people were advertising the second-hand products they wanted to sell, either it was classifieds or Google groups or word of mouth. And at the same time, a lot of e-commerce marketplaces were coming up and doing really well. Big Basket was there, Amazon was already there. So there was this bug in head that if first-hand products can be sold online, why not second-hand products have a similar platform? And I think that is where the idea of Weedle was born. But Weedle came into being a good, I think, 6-7 years after that idea, when I finally found the bandwidth and the traction that I wanted to have in terms of my time and the technology I wanted to build. And yeah, that was pretty much the story of how Weedle came into being.
Fantastic. So what is Weedle? Is it just it's an online platform, and how does the whole process work from procuring to what do you do with the products that you get? How do you ensure that they are usable before you put it on?
Weedle is an online marketplace where parents can buy, sell or give the products that their children have outgrown. Making it an online only marketplace was a conscious choice. Having said that, not anything and everything that gets listed on Weedle is available or is approved, if I may use the word. We take every listing through verification because these are children's products. So we want to ensure that good products which have more life left in them, are hygienic and are perfectly usable for the next parent. Those are the only products that should get listed. So we do ensure that a genuine parent is listing a genuine product. And as I said, we want to give the advantage of an online marketplace. So we are incorporating all the features that give you that convenience. So you can browse across categories, you can add the product to a cart, you use a secure payment gateway to make payments, and you get a doorstep pickup or delivery. So we want to encourage more parents to make second-hand shopping a habit, especially when it comes to children's products.
Excellent. That is such a wonderful thought. I mean, we all have kids' products at home, from toys from when they are, just born, and to when they start walking. Then we have strollers. Then we have, little swings, and anything new in the market. As a parent, we feel it's cute, and I think our child will like it and they'll learn from it. right?
There are two important things that you said here. One, though our consumer is a child, our customer is a parent. So all these decisions are being made by parents. A
Correct.
lot of these products are aspirational. The parents like it, the parents identify with the brand or want to have that brand. So that is how a lot of products are being bought. And the other thing that you said about how a child goes through so many things as she grows, we start from 0 to 6 years, and then it is mom to be at the beginning. Then there's nursery furniture, baby gear like high chair or car seats. As the child grows, there are hobbies and toys, even sports equipment, musical instruments. So we offer across these categories second-hand products that parents can choose from.
Fantastic. So, you also encourage parents to give their used products to you. How does that whole process work?
So how it started was a lot of parents reach out to us saying that they don't want to wait to sell the product. At the same time, there are some products which are probably low value. For example, there are board games or smaller sports equipment which probably don't serve as a resale product, and they are occupying space or losing value because they're lying around not being used by kids. So what we did was we tied up with RWAs to do collection drives across communities for these products where there is usability in it, but probably not sellability. And we do collection drives periodically across apartments in Bangalore, and then we try to sort it, clean it properly so that these are hygienic products. A lot of it is probably not usable, so it's responsibly recycled. Some products might not be fit for resale, is what we usually ensure that they are given to a good cause where children can still use it. So the give part of Weedle is usually handled in that way.
Okay, that just brings an image of a lot of stock in front of me. So I'm sure you collect a lot. A lot of parents, I don't know if they're conscious enough in the way they categorize and donate or give away, but would you have a scenario where it just feels like that's too much clutter and there is lot of sorting to do? And do
So
you have space? Sorry.
Yeah,
Where
so
do you
what
have
we
the
usually
space?
do is we partner with SWMs. There are a lot of agencies in Bangalore that work towards, say, managing clutter or in terms of helping you sort out your wardrobes or your children's items, toys, books, clothing, that kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So we take their help in sorting. As you rightly said, it takes a lot of space. Weedle is an online platform, so we have come up with partnerships and collaborations where we take their help, we train their staff, we sometimes use their space, and that's why I said these collection activities are periodic, because it cannot be an ongoing thing with the space constraints that it comes with.
Fantastic. So you are not just a one-woman show. You work with a lot of other organizations and
Yes.
people.
One thing I would like to add here is while we started as a parents platform, by
Yep.
the very nature of what we do, it falls under circular economy and sustainability. So we didn't start as a circular economy platform, but the model we work with, and as I said, promoting reuse, it is a byproduct. Sustainability or circular economy is a byproduct of what we do. And that is one of the reasons that we've been introduced to a much wider ecosystem in the sustainable or impact focused I would say operators in the city, and that has helped us to forge partnerships and come up with few campaigns or ideas on how we can take more boxes, not just by giving the price advantage of a second hand product to a parent, but also create awareness on how this is helpful in terms of reducing carbon footprint, or it is helpful to the environment and such.
Fantastic. I think that is a lot of wonderful work that you're doing there. How was the initial acceptance in the market when you came up with Weedle?
I'm glad you asked that, because with parents, it's a very natural and obvious question that if I can afford to buy something new for my child, why would I consider pre-loved, as we like to call it, or why would I consider second-hand? And that's a very valid question. It's a mindset. Parents are able to afford buying new things, but the question is, like, let's take a simple example. If you buy, let's say, a good sofa and it gets old, you don't like the model, you can still use it like a sofa.
Yep.
But let's say you buy a good stroller for your child and your child uses it for 12 months, 16 months, and now she no longer fits in it or wants to sit in it. You can't use it. You can't use it. You can either pass it on to somebody else, or it is just lying in your house occupying a corner. So that is the core of, why choose second hand. It's not just economy in terms of money, it is economy of space and usability as well. But the mindset barriers are high. It takes effort to bring parents across saying that second hand is a good choice for your children in the longer run.
Yes, absolutely, especially when you know that the life of that product, the children will not use it, for a long time.
Right.
So,
And a lot of parents, post COVID especially, we see that there is a mindful shift in terms of what is eco conscious, what is better for the planet, what
Okay.
is my carbon footprint. So, a small but good percentage of parents are making these choices mindfully, saying that I need to start making a habit of choosing what is better for my child plus what is better for the planet, because in the long run it will make a difference. If we go back a couple of generations, reusing something, hand me downs was a part of our growing up years.
Correct.
It was a lifestyle choice.
Yes.
We are just trying to bring back that lifestyle choice, saying there was a reason our parents did it and there is a reason maybe we should do it as well.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody who has grown up, a couple of years ago, I think
Right.
from our time, that there are always cousins or siblings that you hand down to, and it was fine. It was accepted.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah, interesting. So, just to clarify, you don't do recycling. You just repurpose the toys and you ensure that it is being reused properly. So, when you get toys, say for example, let's take the stroller example. If a wheel is broken or something, what do? Have you collaborated with toy manufacturers or people who can repair them, fix it up so that you can put them up on wheel?
So we had run a pilot where we wanted parents to bring over things that they want to get repaired, so that instead of discarding it, they can still find some use for it. By the virtue of listing products on Weedle, as I said, we have a verification process where we say that if the product is not usable in its current form, then we cannot list it on the platform, because we want the product to be of immediate use to the next person who takes it up.
Correct.
Having said that, we do encourage a lot of parents to find repair options before they consider discarding or throwing things away.
Excellent. So, just going back to the beginning, the way you started Beetle and everything, as of today, is there something that you wish you had known before you had started Beetle?
So there are two things that, in hindsight, that we see. One is that, and one was a conscious decision that Weedle is not a charity. It is a private limited, and I will tell you why this is a conscious decision, because we have seen in general, and it is a fact that there is a very thin line between donate and discard. So a lot of our collection drives, we have seen, for every 10 parents who are genuinely giving good stuff, there might be 20 who are trying to declutter and we have come across things like broken crayons and water bottles and dolls missing their limbs and stuff like that. So that is one of the things that we are trying to change when we say creating awareness and mind shift changes, that second hand is something that you share among your peers, which means you should be looking at products that you are willing to use for your child. So that is like one parent level filter that we think we should inculcate. And coming back to why Weedle is a private limited, circulating second hand products, unless it becomes a peer to peer activity, it wouldn't be normalized. There are parents who are completely okay with it, but there is a good number of parents who still think twice, thrice before buying a second-hand product
Yep.
for themselves or for their child. So unless we bring it into mainstream and are loud and proud about it, saying that second-hand is okay, it won't become a thriving, sustainable activity as a community or as a business. So that was one of the reasons to not run it as a charity. Today, people are very okay to give things away as long as it's going to a cause, to orphanage, or being donated.
Yeah.
But what we are trying to say is that let's share what we have and share it equally or amongst peers than always looking for a level down.
Yeah.
So that is one thing I feel we should have done, or we can continue doing differently, on insisting that sharing amongst peers and not just a donation cause. And the other thing about Weedle, we did a lot of experiments in the first 2 years. Does a physical space or a physical presence work better than an online platform? And somehow we thought that because we are working in an awareness space, marketing is not important. And on one side we say we want to be a proper business, then we cannot overlook marketing, and that is a lesson we learned the hard way. And yeah, that is one thing that we definitely would like to continue doing differently going forward.
As an entrepreneur, you understand that there is a lesson at every step of the way, and there are so many things that we discover in that journey, and you have to keep changing what you wanted to do also sometimes in the way that you wanted to do
Right.
as well. So let's tell me about an aha moment when you started Weedle. I mean, as an entrepreneur, again, when something really good happens and that you've not expected that it would happen this way, you have your aha moment. You're on cloud nine. Did you have something like that with Weedle?
So we saw interesting pattern in what kind of parents are coming to Weedle. So one of the aha movements was parents of twins, and it was like a really, I would say, distinct pattern.
Okay.
That it's a very obvious thing that you have to buy everything twice over, and it always comes in pairs. So we did see a lot of parents trying to list their products to put it back for sale, and a lot of parents buying two of certain things. Purely it gives a good price advantage
Yeah.
when you're getting good products. So
Yeah.
it kind of opened our eyes to the perspective that we should be targeting a certain segment mindfully, than just looking at parents of children of so and so age, but also parents for twins. And another, I would say, it's a lesson. When we started, we thought Pan India is something that we should be able to handle, and Weedle opened Pan India. While our products come at second-hand prices, everything else, whether it is shipping or packing, still commands first-hand prices,
Yeah.
which was a big lesson for us, that the same model cannot be operated for a second-hand marketplace. So we quickly decided that we have to focus on one city at a time, and yeah, that was a lesson that going big probably is not always the best way forward.
Interesting. So how many cities do you cover at the moment?
So today we are operational primarily in Bangalore, but we also cover Mumbai, Chennai, and a little bit of orders from Hyderabad. We have also seen interest on the, if I may use the word, tier 2 cities as well, where the second-hand buy-sell activity is not very prominent and the options available are less. So we do go out of our way to ensure that we are able to ship products if a query or a order comes from outside Bangalore or one of the main cities.
Fantastic. And if, say, parents want to give what they have been using and to Weedle, how do they approach you?
So there are two options. One is you are looking to sell your product, where you have to fill a sell form. We ask simple questions like, when did you buy the product? Is it in working condition? If it has electronics, is it working? Is it hygienic? We have created simple radio optional things. You don't have to give a lot of description.
Okay.
You upload a few pictures. We ask you to set your own price for the product, but we do have a recommendation based on the condition or the kind of product it is. After that, our team takes it through a quick verification. If there are more details, somebody will get in touch with you to ask those details, and then the product is available for buyers to browse through. Once the product is sold, we will arrange the pickup and delivery. So pretty much your job ends at filling the cell form. If you wish to give things away, there are two ways. One, if it is a smaller product, we will just find a beneficiary and give it at no cost. If it is a product that has selling potential, then we set a nominal price and we still put it up for sale.
Okay. So when they fill the cell form, do they ship the product to you, or do they keep the product with them until somebody buys it?
Yeah, the responsibility and onus of your product is with you till there is a potential buyer for it. This is purely to ensure that there are no damages or further, loss of value on the product till somebody wants to buy it.
Excellent. So just run us through typical Weedle database products, like what do you have in your database apart from toys, books, clothes?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So we, as I said, we do starting from 0 to 6-7 years, because those are the years where you see maximum churn. We do 6 different categories, starting from mom and mom to be, which is maternity wear, breast pumps, nursing and feeding equipment. Then a young newborn child, so you have feeding and nursing pillows, cradles, cots, swings, strollers. Then you move to a toddler, where you have your ride-ons and your car seats and high chairs. Then something that moves on to children when they are outdoors, like bicycles. So it's sports and outdoors category. So you'll have bicycles or sports equipment, pair of skates. And then there's toys and hobbies, which is basically books across ages, as well as musical instruments and other hobbies. We also do a little bit of console games and electronics, and that's pretty much the range that we take them through.
That's quite a wide range you have there.
And coming to clothes, we started clothes as a category. We started Weedle just after COVID, so we were very mindful about the hygiene. One part, it's close contact. So clothing, bedding, footwear is a dormant category as of now.
Okay.
And sizing also was, second-hand products come with, while you buy on other online marketplaces, you have an exchange or a refund or a return. Second-hand comes with an inherent understanding that these things don't apply. So if you got the size wrong, then you're stuck with that product. So that's something we realized, and that's one reason that we don't do these categories today.
Okay, so what is the one advice that you would give to budding entrepreneurs in the kids product space?
That's a tough question, and who knows it better than you, Dipti, given the 11 years of Kids Adda. For budding entrepreneurs, I would say start early and start lean. Do a lot of experiments and arrive on a solid proposition, value proposition. Then go big. Especially in kids segment, there are a lot of options, a lot of new things coming on. So be very clear on what you are offering, and then go big on it.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I think you need to do a lot of research before you start something, and things will definitely not work as you planned.
Right.
Great. So one thing for parents who with young parents with babies and toddlers, especially if you want to send a message about pre-loved products, what would it be?
I would say keep your mind open to pre-loved products. They not only offer you economy in general, but it is a smarter choice in terms of mindful parenting. So every parent should give pre-loved a chance.
Absolutely, every parent should give pre-loved a chance. You will understand once you start using the product, and then the child kind of moves on to the next, and then you know that it can be used again, and there are people who would love to use it as well. So that's when please think about Weedle. And
absolutely,
yeah. And toy manufacturers, I know you also work with them. If there was one thing that you want to maybe tell them, talk to them, or advise in terms of the toys, what would it be?
So we don't directly work with manufacturers, but we do work with small businesses
Okay.
where they have what we call the RTO inventory, which is return to origin. So these are your returns or rejects, which cannot go back to sale mostly. So the price advantage of these products can be passed on to our customers. So excess stock or clearance or RTO inventory is also something that we work with smaller businesses and pass on that at price advantage to our customers. A little bit of numbers here when it comes to toy manufacturing. Almost 90% of the toys that we have today are plastic or some composite of plastic, which is extremely difficult to recycle. Also, the kind of electronics that goes in doesn't come with clear recycling options. Neither is it easy to repair. So if there's one thing I can request toy manufacturers is that please make your toys easy to repair and please design them for reuse, because that will definitely cut out the huge amount of waste. As I said, almost 80% of the manufactured toys are heading towards landfills because they cannot be recycled and they are not getting reused. So that is one thing that can definitely help, and that will help change parents' mindsets on how they use the toys. Rather than use and throw, they will try to maximize the use and pass it on to somebody else to use it.
Fantastic. I think that is a wonderful advice. There are quite a few lessons we learned here. One, the importance of pre-loved products, be it books, toys, clothing, anything to do with kids' products. We know that it can be used for a much longer time than what your kids have used it for. And also a lesson for toy manufacturers, or a takeaway. I wouldn't call it a lesson, a takeaway basically.
Or we can call it a request.
Or a request, just a request to toy manufacturers. Please provide instructions on how they can be reused or recycled, or whom can parents approach, and that will really contribute to our environment and do good to the society.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you so much, Snehal, for taking time out and coming and talking to us about Weedle. We know that we have a one-stop solution for pre-loved kids products now, and Weedle is the place to go. All the links will be available on our comments in the description and comment section. Have a look, and if you need to give away something or you need to buy something pre-loved, Weedle is the place to go. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Dipti. It was lovely speaking with you. Thanks for having me.
Nice talking.